time for me to practice my leadership. And
You ready?
I think my coworkers see this one.
You guys ready?
I think my coworkers.
You ready?
yeah.
You ready?
So ready.
We haven't even done the test run. Okay.
You're right, thank you for correcting me. We've got 5 teams in total. So the judges, there's going to be 3 judges in total. Our industry judge is going to be here shortly. And they're going to come to each table, and we're going to determine the order by who came here first. So you're going to go first, you're going to go second, you're going to go third, you're going to go fourth, you're going to go fifth. And so the team, when the judges arrive, just let them know your game name, and then that will be just how they put on their scoring rubric. And just to be very transparent about what they're going to be looking for. We're going to be looking at your prototype demonstration. That's going to be weighted out of 25. Then they're going to look at your design document and your supporting materials, whether they be costumes or props or whatever else you might have, and that's going to be weighted out of 25. But the most important category is presentation and professionalism. So they're going to be looking to you and asking you questions and like just listening to how you speak and how you present. We thought that was the kind of the most universal category we could apply to people who are making games in all sorts of different ways. So they're all great people who are going to be judging, and I'll introduce them. We have Mark Hatchow, who's our game design instructor at Manitoba. Olivia Wild, who handles our Girls in Gaming program and teaches design workshops. And as soon as they arrive, we've got Rebecca Harrison, who is the first female game studio owner in the province.
Wow.
She is just she's just an awesome human being. She's worked for Will Wright, who made The Sims. She worked at Tangent Animation, and now her studio has a game called Free Ride that's coming out on Steam. That is a dating simulator. So
not a dating simulator.
A personality test. Thank you. Personality test. And that game.
Would you like to get a copy of our game design document? Have you ever been playing a game and thought, this needs a little more spice to it? Maybe a little punch? Well, I'm Drew from Surgeon Heights, and this is our team of 6 for our game Perfect Match, and I believe that our game might just be a perfect match for you. Our game Perfect Match is a blend of a visual novel and an open-world RPG set in a world where fighting has become the norm, seen as an opportunity for entertainment and glory. Our protagonist, however, strays from the popular culture, sticking with their own beliefs of pacifism and romance. The game presents a unique cast of 4 opponents who you may choose to interact with, learning about each character as the protagonist battles their way into their hearts. Using Godot and Git, we kept our code organized in an efficient manner, keeping track of our current and upcoming tasks with Trello. We also invited a group of playtesters to provide feedback and report bugs throughout the game's development. To keep open and clear communication, our team used Discord and held weekly meetings. Before we present our demo, I would like to present the amazing team behind this game's production.
Hi, my name is Venice. I use she, her. I was in charge of the main art style. I've also helped out with some minor animations and distributing the art evenly to the other artists.
Hi, I'm Hermione. I go by any pronouns but for they, them, and I'm one of the artists of the crew. And I worked on some of the art assets in the game, such as the title, which can be seen right there, colorizing the sprites, and yeah.
Hi, my name is Annika. I use she, they pronouns. I helped create some of the original music you'll be hearing in the game.
I'm Tegan, and I use any pronouns. I was an artist as well as also a composer, and yeah.
I'm Brooke Babam. I was the lead developer. I worked on the dialogue parser and some other UI components.
I'm Drew, and alongside Brooke, I was a dev, and I also was the communications lead for our team, making sure our team was organized, efficient, and up to date with everything we were doing. And with that, we present to you the demonstration of Lance's first battle and meeting in Perfect Match.
Four characters.
Okay, I can take one of these.
Just let me give it a show.
Oh, explain the options.
Oh.
That's how I know she's ready to play.
We'll give all the judges a chance to play.
We invite you to go to options first to change your name. It's customizable. All of the controls are on.
Okay, so alright, I'm not gonna read the controls.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. Oh,
Fighting is the #1 source of entertainment. Everyone from all over the country drifts to this godforsaken place where all the bent laws and large profits from the fighting scene. Arenas are full of people betting on competitors. For mercy, is given to man. I'm so lost. Where am I? I stand there, visibly confused. Aw. I like the posters also very much.
and there are references to our other characters.
Yeah, and as well as like an inside joke, Onion Man.
Man. Onion man.
Onion Man.
I like this cat.
Have you seen this cat?
As if the scenery couldn't be more unfamiliar in ears. Too low and noisy male voices crescendo towards my direction, gradually filling my ears. Suddenly, the shouting ran clearly through my ears. Does anyone want to VO these guys?
You're the closest to old man.
Hey, I told you to watch it, twerp. This place ain't for dimwits like you. I don't mean it. Watch it, pal. I'll usurp ya. I'll steal your wife. Wait. Wait, there's two different old men. You're the other old man.
I'm the champion of fighting, you know. They call me really strong and cool.
See? Nobody calls you that.
I'm alive? Wait, what happened? I end up. Oh, they got me. I'm surrounded by unfamiliar neon signs and buildings. The roaring cheers of a large crowd are, oh no. My vision zeroes in on an open arena, seeming less dangerous to explore. Crowds turn into small groups, then duos and individuals crossing the streets. The air felt cleaner. Let's take a look around. This is the open world part. Yeah. I like this. Oh. Oh my, hello. Wait, who wants to be Lance?
I'll be the pretty boy. The name's Lance. How may I help you, darling?
Oh, hi. Bonjour, to say, small talk is my tongue.
And because you seem to be new around here, I'll give you a free service of your choice. Looking for a haircut, hair dye? I'll feel bad for changing your appearance. You must be lucky to receive
I love
free
this
service. Aha, although it comes with a certain price.
You gonna punch me? What kind of price? I'm sort of broke right now.
Don't worry, my dear. I'm not looking for money right now. I see I'm pretty wealthy.
You're what? Well, probably if you run this shop.
I'm just looking for a good time, if you get what I mean.
No, Lance. Good time? I don't know. You seem out of my league.
Out of my league? I could argue with that. I think you're just as gorgeous as me.
I hope this is the whole
Plus, I should clarify my intentions before you get the wrong idea.
Before we start the next part, controls W, A, S, and D, and then left click and right click are the attacks.
Okay.
And shift is a dash.
Yeah. Dash. Okay. It's good to know.
Oh, fight, fight.
All right, here we go.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. Whoa, I'm fast.
Whoa.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Come here.
Super fast. Get the sword, get going.
Oh.
Okay.
Get up. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, the scissors are fun.
Look at the scissors.
Yeah, get him. Get him. Get out the hairspray. Get out harder.
Hairspray. You are so. What are you made of?
Rosemary tungsten. Oh, this is so awesome. If you want, you can dive secretly first.
No, but I want to be. I want to see if I can do it first try.
Get out!
They got
Oh, careful!
Oh no! They present it. This is it. This is
Did you do it? Wait.
This is why you don't underestimate.
Oh, I feel bad. You're the start playing like the fight part or something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was really good. Sorry, I got caught up in it. Here's the next one. Okay. All right. Ready to be presented. That was really, really good, guys. That was so good.
All right, so this is a little overview of our game. It's talking about a summary that we told you about. Our target audience is a late teen to young adult. Our key features, we have original music, art, and code. And our inspirations are games like Project Eden's Garden and Persona 5, Danganronpa, all of these types of games. And now I'm going to hand it over to our art team to present our original art design.
So I was in charge of making the backgrounds, and like the vibe of our game, it's like really futuristic, but also grungy and like alternative, and I really wanted that like with dark and damp, but also really bright colors. And Lance's parlor, like as you saw, he's really bright. He's got blues and pinks, and I really wanted that for his parlor because it's like that's his space. As well for the arena, the finished project, that was actually the third attempt. The first one was too dark, the second one was too grungy, and this one, it seems like a medium of both, which I really like. And Hermione also assisted in backgrounds because they made the title screen and the alleyway background, which is really cool.
Okay, so these are the character reference sheets, but you can only see 3 of them right now, and the next page you'll see even more of them. So here are the 3 main references that you'll be seeing in the game. Well, once we implement it in the game. So on the top left, we have Emil, who is an ex-prince who rebelled against his family, trying to pursue fighting as his whole career.
See the cat?
Yeah. Thank you for.
I love it.
On the top right, we have Lance, who is, well, as you can tell already, by the fight and how we first met him, he's a hairstylist. Supposed to be the energetic, fun type of guy. To, make the game more, fun, happy, even though it's kind of a deep concept where fighting's the norm.
Basically, she's a cold-hearted assassin. She's very troubled by her past, and our MC can learn more about her. And bottom we have MC, who's basically androgynous, designed both by Tegan. Basically, you can insert yourself as them or see them as a whole different character, whatever you want. And the gender is it's really up to you. You can interpret it how you like. And on the top right, I made a coloring guide for the other artists. As the lead artist, I saw the sketches, interpreted them into my own style, and then made sketches, gave specific directions to the artists. For example, lining certain parts, do stuff on certain layers. And then there was a guide where we referenced Project Eden's Garden shading style. And from there on out, I wrote down directions and how I want line art to be varied and have certain values set for certain blending modes. And yeah, that's about it. And they all look very close enough to my own art style.
So this is the character lineup. There are only 2 chibis in the game currently, Lance and MC. And as you can see, they're all kind of lined up by height. So Emil, he's the tallest, and Camille, she's the shortest. And yeah, they all have their different color palettes, which allude to their personality, which I found interesting and neat because MC, his red is very bold, red is very flamboyant, right? With the gold accents, that helps a lot. And Camille, she's really dark, she's really blue, because she's I don't know, she's got that quote-unquote calming aura, but she's also really cold, really like combat military. And Emil, he's very royal, so he's got like whites and gold, and he's like high above the rest because he's so wealthy, even though he's an ex-prince. Lance, very fun, very energetic, you know, ripped jeans, ruffled clothes, very bright color palette. And Clementine, she's more muted, she's like purple, she's like an excellent character design, you know. Yeah, I really love her.
Yeah, these are really good. Like you can tell immediately, like looking at them, what kind of person they are, even from like the colors. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so this is the UI and battle assets that you saw in the demo through the visual novel aspect and especially the battle aspect of the game. We really wanted to have something with a lot of pop and color to it. I personally take a lot of inspiration from just like the genre of synthwave, so like lots of dark colors, but you also have like those bright neonish colors to just bring out that pop and like personality, like especially with the weapons you see there. Like for Lance, you saw that he had a pair of scissors, he's a hairstylist, along with the hairspray that works just really well with this character. And along with like a personal like dagger for our MC with a little heart on it to match the theme of the game for love, because as we mentioned before, like MC is very much a lover character than a fighter. So it makes sense to have something with like some nice, calm, like happy, lovey-dovey colors. I also want to give a shout out to Annabelle who helped work out on a lot of these UI designs.
Okay, so CGs or computer graphics are special event, like special drawings that emphasize a certain event in visual novels. So as you can see, there are two that play after one another, and the first one is just them after winning, or MC wins after Lance. And then the second one is like the love advance moment, where the MC shows Lance the ways of love, and I just think I actually had a blast drawing the second one. This was my time to shine, really, just for adding a bunch of like my own ideas. And I really love colorful kind of close-ups in that, because I also play some visual novels, and I always found that the CGs were so like beautiful to me, because they convey much more emotion and I guess context rather than sprites alone which have their own facial expressions.
I like the way you do like the lighting.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So this first half something else. I had to create an original dialogue parser because we need to control certain aspects of this game when text happens. So before this, it splits it by the new box type. Tags are surrounded with a square brackets. So new box is split by that, and then it goes through and finds the tag name in those. It matches for every tag, and those whatever it needs for that tag. So like it'll get the expression tag, it'll get the expression, look it up in a dictionary, and set the texture. Things like that.
And okay, so for my part, I did mostly the Lance's battle, and during phase 2, you'll be able to see the rain of scissors going all the way down, and during that rain, if you get hit, Lance comes to you and does a little jab, and this is what the piece of code that does that. And here you have the attack rotation, so it gets where the player's mouse is currently facing, and using that, it goes, Lance goes right in front of the player, and here it does a small countdown. And here it does a small countdown to show before it actually starts the stab, so it wouldn't be unfair. And it checks if the hitboxes are overlying on each other, so then does that damage. So. And now we're gonna talk about our original music.
Yeah, so here we have our original music part of our presentation, to which me and Tegan both worked on. The program that we used was BandLab, which we learned through our sound and engineering class. Like, we didn't take any of these other cool classes that they did, so it was so cool to like find something that we can put into the game. Like, it's free to use, and we took lots of inspiration from Scarlet Nexus, Persona 5, and I personally use Pro PC, who helps make the music for 616 games. What we were trying to go for was like, we wanted to give it that feeling of like the grunge feeling that Tegan was talking about, while I like to focus on also on the synth aspect of it to give it like that vibe, like I said before, like neon, and we want to give it like that little pep in your step, you know? And so what we do, yeah. So
yeah, and like I just want to add to like the pictures. One of those is for the title screen, and the other is for like the inside the parlor when you like meet him. So like, yeah. And like, Annika spent a long time on the battle music. Trust,
there's a lot of issues.
It was a process, but we finally got it. Yeah, we finally got it right in the end, and like I don't know, I'm so proud of her.
Proud of you.
Yeah.
And here are credits. Another thank you to Annabelle for all the additional work Annabelle did. And our next page shows we actually have an official itch page.
Nice.
If you would like to know more, we have a QR code, and here's a screenshot of our itch page.
I will remember. When it comes out with more.
We'll just leave it on that. I'll just leave it on that because like if it was going to stretch, yeah.
Do you guys want some like kind of game design feedback? Yes, sure. Okay, so basically, in terms of like controls, exceptional. It was tight. Like I never felt like there was like a disconnect from what I was inputting with what was happening on screen. Like at all, like whenever I would like make an attack, it would always like be very responsive and very tight. The one thing that maybe you might want to consider is having a bit of like a cooldown between attacks. Because I was just like, and because once you kind of realize that there's like a dazed moment, and you can just spam the heck out of it. And then I got him within like 20 seconds the second time, right? But yeah, so I guess overall, the only other things that kind of peeked out at me were I would always endeavor when there's like relevant instructions in terms of like controls that you need the player to know at a given moment, make sure it's somewhere on screen. Like there's a nice spot like right at the top of the Coliseum, just put the controls there in a large, easily readable font, like just right there. And then you don't have to be like, oh shoot, like referencing back to the itch page. Oh no, the battle has started, okay. That was great. I guess just in terms of like making things more clear in the battle scene, I try to avoid numerical hit points that are presented to the player. Like obviously on the back end, it's numerical, but that's kind of hard to like, because it's hard to like, I'm looking and there's scissors flying everywhere, and like to go down there and be like, okay, it's 50. Out of what? I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was out of 100. I think I'm getting closer. And then I look down and I'm like, okay, it hasn't moved. I've been doing something wrong. Oh no. So two things I often like to do to kind of fix that is make sure that the enemy's health bar is very close to the enemy. I like to put it kind of on top of their head, like that kind of trope, because that way you can kind of see like there's like the overall like black square, and then there's the small square within it that gets smaller, and that just like that lets you know the frame of reference of the full hit points, where you are, and you don't have to like be moving your eyes always to, because that's pretty tough as a player, you know. That, and then just I would put in a more like noticeable hit animation for both the MC and the enemies, just because that way, like, it's, once again, it's like I'm not looking down to see, and like I can hear it, that like I think it's connected. I'm pretty sure I've got the sword swingy, and I think I heard a hit connect. But yeah, just like having it like boop boop boop, and like the character go is just such like a nice juicy way of doing that. So otherwise, I love the character designs. I love the writing. I love the music. I love everything about it. Great work.
Mark and Olive, do you have some feedback you want to give?
I think like some players would want to play a certain way, especially in the fighting part, right? If they're embodying a character, they might want to be either more aggressive or more passive. So I think that like when Rebecca was going in to like swing in their invincible state, like I feel like something that should be rewarded, either like breaking that state early so that you can attack earlier, or being able to do like chip damage, like when you're doing that, just to be rewarded, so it's not just all you're forcing a player into a certain type of play style. Because you want to account for all the different kinds of play styles and account for those as well. And also like hit stop. Hit stop's great, right? It's a little technique to like make those punches feel punchier. So if you're already reduced, if you're going to be taking feedback like reducing spam attacks, you can make them feel more punchy through just like, you know, just doing little hit stop techniques so that it just feels a little bit punchier, especially for like a game Manitoba. Oh, hit stop is like you essentially like pause for a couple frames. So it just like, it's like stop, and it helps you kind of indicate that yes, I've connected a hit.
Like an overall time scale.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So you just like stop it, or you can like slow it down, just to be a little bit more punchier, especially for a little fighting game. So, cool.
I think to kind of jump on what Mark was saying, I loved everything about this, like the colors and the vibe. I love it so much. With the battle, I do think maybe turning up like the hit noises would be very useful because it is a little hard to hear. Just to hear when you do connect, because that's also part of the satisfaction is like when you make a hit and you get like that nice hit marker noise. Like you think back to like COD with like and then like Apex Legends, and that's just a constant stream of like it's a very satisfying experience. I think turning up that hit marker noise would be very beneficial. Even maybe a mini tutorial as well, like because you do have the controls at the beginning of the game, but I think maybe just like a, hey, here's how you walk through your first battle. Okay, you've got the controls. Now let's get into it. I think that would also be kind of beneficial, so that you don't have to you don't read through it, because that happens with me all the time. I read through it and I'm like, okay, I got the controls, and I get in and I'm like, oh wait a minute, I forgot everything I just read like 30 seconds ago because I'm pea-brain. So yeah, I think like overall this is really solid. Like there's no is there anything, which I think is really impressive. Like it was clean.
Yeah, I think like your starting area is like a perfect example of, you know, especially in a fighting game or game with like movement and stuff, like having those controls always on and doing something. If players just like to like jump around or dash around or like hit things, right? Like you're playing Legend of Zelda, for example, and you're just hitting everything around. And when you're starting in like this kind of back alley room where there's like garbage cans and boxes and stuff, you can have the player like learn their movement kind of there and hit things and dash around to like move around to the next area. But I think it's all there. Just adjust it.
Yeah, one piece of advice I heard that I always liked was, at any point, you should be able to hand the game to a friend who has never played it before, and they should know exactly what to do. I always loved that. So
we'll give
Welcome to Blacksmiths and Brimstone. So, our members are me, Chloe, Stacy, Norman, William, and Terry. Me and Stacy worked on the art portion and the writing portion of this presentation. As the designers and writers, our objectives were to design on a game genre and come up with a concept, to make those concept arts and kind of really bring to life what we wanted to. And then, once we found our concepts, we then took those concepts that we wanted to keep and really expanded on them. Then, once we finalized them, we gave it to the coders to implement in our game. I was in charge of focusing on the game mechanics and the combat system, which gave us the knowledge of Photoshop, and we had past visual art classes and individual experiences. Our process for the characters is first we design the sketches, then once we got the base design down, we transferred that to digital, we did the line art for them, and then once we had a color plan, we colored them and then made sure the documents were like the proper PNG with the clear backgrounds and all that stuff. Then what you know. As you talk to the different characters and whatnot, you learn more and more and more about what's been happening and how you could possibly put a stop to this. By talking to Oliver, which is what Norman is dressed up as, you get the information from the book he's reading, one of the minimal that got burned. or didn't get burnt.
Something isn't right. Why does the wind keep spreading this fire uncontrollably? It goes from tree to tree almost like it's jumping. You go to the water, fill up a cup you have, and attempt to put out a flame, but it doesn't go out, only relighting and getting stronger. This isn't natural at all. You see a town further away and realize its potential fate. You weave through the forest and soon arrive at the town perimeter. The damage had already begun and is only getting worse. What's happening? Who's doing this and why? You must get to the bottom of this, and you're willing to risk it all for it.
So, the following, before we get to the actual main characters, these are some of the game graphics that we featured. So the heart system, some of the obstacles like the spikes, the boxes, the background, here's an example of the forest, and then the burning down forest with the grass and the dead grass. That's featured in the first part of the game before it transitions into the platform. So, the main characters themselves. And then here are, so the first one is the main character, the default skin, and then the rest are the other main character options you would get at the beginning of the game. Yeah. And then here, behind all the chaos, formerly known as Angeline Blaze, she's basically the cause of all the destruction, all the burning, all the force, all of that is due to her. You can explain the backstory.
So you might be asking why. I mean, she's a demon from hell. There's more to it, right? So essentially, she was born in a castle. She is royalty. She's a princess. She is part of an elemental family. She has the fire element. She has 3 other sisters who have the other elements. So essentially, she is the second oldest, which means she is not the next to be queen, but her water sister is, which kind of is a little bit weird because why is water, you know? The least dominant element in hell, you'd think, is becoming queen, you know? So she doesn't think this is fair. She's mad. She's like, why is she queen? I should be queen, no matter what, no matter how old I am. And essentially, her wind sister, who sees this, well, she says, I have nothing really to do with my life, so I might as well help you, you know, rebel. Because, you know, she's 3rd oldest, she's whatever, she's not going to be queen anytime soon. So essentially, she goes, all right, you know what, I have a plan. We have to combine our powers together, because your fire, it's strong, but it's not going to do that much. You have to combine it with mine, and
show you an example of one of the dialogues from Oliver. Hi there, can I ask you a couple questions? Hello? Hey, excuse me. Do you have any idea what's going on at the town with your books?
Well, this was fire.
Your books are on fire! What are you even reading? What's so important that you're so focused on it?
I'm glad you asked. Found this interesting page here. Let me find that for you. Aha, here it is. Truly hellish and unpure things can only be put out with holiness. That's cool. Though I'm not spiritual by any sense.
You know, that's actually pretty useful. I know exactly what I need to do now. So, before we continue, we would like to go into the code and actually show you the game itself.
Let me grab your chair.
Just the other day, actually.
So who would like to start? Are we going to explain the code first?
No, they can type it.
So I suggest that you set up these keybinds first so that you can have the controls be whatever.
My game doesn't have keybinds.
she got a little owl animation. Oh, so cute.
That's not class.
Travel upwards.
And there will be like a town.
Yeah.
But
It's all up here right now.
right, this is just the forest part.
What?
You can also double
This is also original music. Yeah. You don't want to make this?
Can we crank it up?
Yeah.
We can get music?
Oh yeah, normally music.
There's no function button.
Yes.
There we go. Oh god. Oh no, here!
Press M to shoot it.
Too close to it, man. Back up.
Oh my god.
I'm Norman. I made what you're seeing right now, actually. And basically, I came into this with pretty good computer science background, an adequate digital media background. So I was able to put those two together to create this. And basically, since there's three of us, both Terry, Will, and I all agreed that we'll make something different. So I made the platform section, which is inspired by Hollow Knight and Cuphead. And basically, each level has the platforming elements with the black things and like traps and stuff that can harm you, like the spikes and the buzzsaws. And then the enemies are as well a part of it, which implements some run and gun elements into the game. Okay, so we'll slow down, please. Thanks. That's a screenshot of the level.
So we're stuck here.
It doesn't show that because this is a slightly older bit. Scroll down, please. All right, so this just talks a little bit about each of the threats. How there's like only melee enemies, only ranged enemies, and then the big threat of this level that you're going to trigger if you click that green lever is the one that uses both melee and ranged.
Oh my god!
Now don't get too close to it. Doesn't like when you do that. What are you? How is this doing? It has 25 health, so 25 clicks. It's a little bit of health. So this, and there you go. You killed it. And this talks a little bit more about how different enemy variants that I have used a little bit of.
Hey guys, can we bring the volume? Sorry, can we bring the volume just down a little bit?
This is back to the world map section. This is the stuff I worked on.
Okay.
After that level, you can traverse the map a little bit or it brings you back to the title screen because we had issues with for world map stuff, what I added was like the ability to gain height on the map. So as you can see, I can jump forward to the map. It allowed for much easier development. I'm not, that's it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Good stuff.
A lot of scripts with just every single thing, but like these two here, there's player movement, which is probably my favorite one I wrote, if I think. To be honest, there's also range enemy and projectile, which I believe I have screenshots both of. Yeah, projectile. Right there, you see the delay collider, that's the delay I was referring to. And then the on trigger refers to the same thing. So yeah. I think I'll hand it over to Will so he can cover it.
So my section, which is in this
It's okay.
my tab, so for my job in the creation of this game was to make the overworld map that connects all of the levels together. And I thought to myself, what would make an overworld map more interesting was you add like a third dimensional element to it. So one of the main things I focused on was like the ability to add height to the map. So in the
Interpretations of what you have, and then to see where it's going after the fact would have been really, really cool. And like to have like the cool presentations and like the live action, and that was so good. Yeah, and then like, I don't know if you guys intend to keep working on this. I hope you do, because I really like where it's headed. But yeah, just like that would almost be like a very valuable experience as a playtesting thing. To say, okay, here's what we have, here's what we want it to be. What are the most elegant ways we can get to that point? Like, what is like the minimum number of like art assets we would need? Like you just described a town with all these cool characters in it and all these cool interactions. Like, obviously, you need like the town, right? You need a dialogue parser, and that's kind of also like one big thing that you fight as a game developer is scope creep, which is when what's in your head is so much bigger than what you can currently make as like a craftsman at this point. And it's just like, and just kind of being aware of that gulf is where all like the progress and the process and to me what the joy of making games is. It's just kind of like seeing how well can I kind of bridge that gap. So yeah, I think you guys do a great job. I love the energy, I love the story, I love the characters, I love what I saw so far of the game itself. So that's my 2 cents. Great job, guys.
I think when it comes to like level design as well, we need to keep in mind like Sears.
Ended up changing the final game. Nobody in this playtest ever saw it. Gamers never look up. Yeah. Or maybe he was quoting that because maybe it's a wider known thing. It's just like, yeah. Look, when you guys had that passage, like, so you went this way, you have to go backwards and then up this tube. And it's kind of like what Mark was saying, how it's like it was kind of hard to see what was coming. Like you drop off a ledge. Oh, there's a saw here. It's like in real life, if I was on that ledge, I would have. It's kind of like you're working in an abstract space that is supposed to reflect a real experience. And the real experience is I'm jumping around on these platforms, right? Like if I'm the hyena, I am Rebecca, so that works out really well. But like if I'm in this space and I need to cross this gorge, what information would I have in real life? I would be able to see the bottom. Or if I can't see the bottom, the implicit inference is that's bottomless, right? If you can't see the bottom, there is no bottom. If I go down there and I'm assuming there's a bottom, there better be a safe bottom if I couldn't see it before, you know?
Or just be like, jump into the sauce.
Exactly. That's not what you want to do. It's like, and like designing level design, I'm just gonna go to level design right over here.
And it's just like I relate to this as someone who's more art focused rather than programming is like the character creep. I struggled with that a lot when I was like even in high school designing stuff for like group D&D things. I'd have like 3 different tieflings and people would be like, why do you have 3 different characters? I'm like, because they're cute. And I love that as an artist. It's my favorite thing in the world. I think something that would be useful is kind of breaking up your development process into like past, present, and future. So it's like where we started with this, what is our general idea of present is being like, you know, what do we have currently and what do we need to work on currently in terms of like bugs or adding in like features and like a stage, and then future being, you know, breaking things up into what are more features that we want to add, when do they come into the game, what are more characters that we want to have seen, because I love all.
Each of the teams to come up and grab a celebratory medal. Each member of the team will have a medal mailed to them after. So one member from each of the next 3 teams in game design secondary, please come up for a quick spot on the podium, and the entire team can gather for a photo at the photo booth just off to the side. From Sturgeon Heights, bronze medalist, blacksmith and broomstone. Silver medal to K Vacuum. And gold medal from Sturgeon Heights, perfect match. And that's why it's a new category, because they get very excited about winning.
I love your hair!
The other members of the team are here. You can please gather for a photo. The rest of you will individually.
So what's your 15 name?
Next up, 3D character computer animation secondary. These are teams of 2 as well. Bronze medal.